Welcome back to Random Things with BK. I know I look like I'm just the same as I was the last video, but that's okay. We're shooting a series on bike stuff, so I thought it'd be good to talk about the different tools that I use to maintenance the bikes in my garage and my friends' bikes and like that. So I'm going to break this up into two parts, the parts that I keep in my pack and the parts that I keep here in the garage. And I'll talk about each tool a little bit. So first thing that everyone needs is a good air pump. I recommend getting one from a bike shop, one that will do both Presta and Schrader. And the difference between that is if you have a really skinny small, that is Presta. And if you look over here on this bike, this is a Schrader, the bigger valve. If you have a pump that'll do both, then it'll cover any bike you ever have, which is a good thing. That way you don't have to have separate pumps for separate things. So this particular pump, it does both Schrader and Presta, and it has an air gauge on it, which I really like because then I know what pressure I'm pumping my tire up to. The next tool on my table is a little bit of an advanced tool. Not something that everybody's going to want to have or what, but it is made for holding your sprocket so that you can remove it. And then you take your sprocket removal tool just like that and put a wrench on there, which we could take this little wrench right here if we wanted. I don't know if it's big enough. Probably not. Nope. But you put a wrench on it and then you're able to twist this off, which would then allow you to remove the whole sprocket to either change it or clean it. So a chain whip tool and a sprocket removal tool, and you'll notice this one is for sprockets and this one here is to remove your crank. So certain bikes have a splined crank, and that's what that tool's for. Or actually, no, that's for a different spline of this. My bad. All right, so we're going to remove this off of here. The next thing I'm going to show you is the crank removal tool, and that's what this is. And what you do is you screw this into this part of your crank arm. It screws in, and then this handle screws in, and the little piece will press your crank off because your crank is pressed on. And so that's how you would remove your crank. For cleaning, to replace sprockets, or to put new cranks on if you are changing them out for something else. The next thing I'm going to show you is a chain breaker. So on these chains, there's no master link. So to get these chains off or to fix them, you have to punch the little pin through. So you put it in here like this, you twist this, and you crank it till it comes apart. Now it's real important not to go too far. You really want to stick in that last thing so that you don't have to try to get it back in there. But to put it back in, it's just the reverse. You put this all the way back, you put the pin on, you put it on the pin, and you push the pin back in. And that's how you can replace your chain or fix your chain if you break it. Another chain related tool that's very handy that I keep in the garage is my chain cleaner. And what this is I can put a degreaser in this chamber here. I can take this and set it on here, snap this, turn this, and then I can just crank the chain through it and it'll clean the chain for me. And we're going to do that for this bicycle in our maintenance video that we're going to shoot. So you'll get to see that in action. A few other tools that are very important to have both in the garage and in your pack is a good chain lube. I like this Tri-Flow. You can get this at most local bike shops or whatever your local bike shop has, because I guess in certain parts of the country they may not have Tri-Flow. A set of Allen wrenches, because a whole lot of things on a bicycle uses an Allen wrench. And what these are is your tire sticks to change out your tire. So if you got a flat, you take this and you put it in here like so. Of course, I picked the worst tire to do ever. But you work this. I started this, so I need to show you. It's not a great tire. Hold on. This one's a lot stiffer. Those Park ones are really flexible. So see, you work this in here like this, and you can work the tire off the rim, just like that. And once you get it in there, then you take another tire tool to hold it, basically. And once you got it held, then you just start working it down. And then all you have to do is just go in there and get the tube out. Just like that. Then you put the new tube in, and once you have the new tube in there, you just work your tire back in as much as you could, but at a certain point you'd have to use your tools again. So you take your one lever and you hold it in, you take the other lever and you go around it and you push it back in. Now this tire is garbage and I'm not going to put it back on that rim, but that's basically how you would take your tire off in that. And these little tire sticks is what you use to do that. All right, and the last tool that's on my table that I'm going to show you is my truing stand. If your tire has got a major wobble to it or moves up and down, that could really affect the way it works with your brakes or how your bike rides. So a truing stand, what it allows you to do is you can set this here, this gauge, really close to your wheel, and then you can see if it's scraping or not. And if it scrapes in certain spots but not in other spots, then it's a little bit out of true. Now this wheel's not really that out of true. It's flat, so it's rolling weird, but if it was out of true, then what I would do is I would find where it is that it's starting to scrape, and then we would take a spoke wrench and we would start to tighten in sections until we worked it out to where it was running completely smooth around and around. It's something that takes some practice, but with a truing stand, you can definitely get your wheels a lot truer, and therefore, you know, your bike will ride better. These are some more advanced things, but definitely if you're going to maintain your own bike, these are all pieces that would be really good to have. Lastly, I'm going to talk a little bit about the things that I keep in my pack. So I'm going to do another video on some of the gear that I like for mountain biking and road riding, but in both my mountain bike and my road pack, I keep certain tools. And since we're talking about tools, I'm going to talk about these. I keep a hand pump. A lot of people like the CO2 cartridges. I've found them to be unreliable, and so I like just a good old hand pump. This pump will do both Schrader and Presta, although all the bikes that I personally ride are Presta, so There you go. I like a good bike multi-tool. This is a park tool. This one's more on the expensive side, but you could get a cheaper version of this. But you can see this has a very good variety of the tools that you would need to work on a bike. You have a star tool, you have all the different Allen tools, you have a little 8mm socket, you have a bolt a flat here, no Phillips, but I'll show you how I get around that in just a second. So this is a great little tool. It's compact, it doesn't weigh a lot, it fits in your bag easy. I like to keep a crescent wrench because it's adjustable, so I can work on a variety of different bolts and things if I need to. And I like to keep a screwdriver. This screwdriver actually has 4 sizes to it, so smalls and everything all in one screwdriver, so that's handy. And then a couple of good tire tools and a chain breaker. And the chain breaker is more for putting chains together than it's taking them apart, because I broke several while out. That's what I like to keep in my pack. Sometimes I'll also take some chain lube with me, depending on if I'm mountain biking or road biking. Road biking, I don't need chain lube, but for mountain biking, I usually will have some. So that's the tools that I use to maintain my bicycles, both in the garage and when I'm out on the road or on the trail. Hopefully this was helpful to you if you're getting into cycling and you're wondering kind of what you need to maintain your bicycles. And I hope you have a great day.